Hello students, welcome back in political science class. So we were revising the chapter number 2, that is election and representation. So in the previous lecture we have discussed about the method of choosing the representative, and that method is known as election. So now the question arises, how the election will take place and what are the rules and regulations for conducting elections. So we know there is an independent body in India, that is Election Commission, who has responsibility to conduct free and fair election. So let us see what type of election system are available in India. The first system, that is FPTP system, which we have studied in the previous lecture. You must be familiar with this FPTP system. The full form of this FPTP system is the first past the post system. It means the candidate who will score maximum number of seats, he will be the winner. The second method, this FPTP system is very easy system, and every common people is able to understand this FPTP system. Most of the democratic country, they adopt this FPTP system. So India is also adopting this FPTP system because you will see how this proportional representation will take place. You can see lots of formulas here, and it is difficult for a common people to understand with all the formulas. Even you are the student of political science, so many students, they feel difficulty in understanding proportional representation. So it is a very complex procedure. A common people is not able to understand. This FPTP system is very easy to execute and very easy to understand. That's why most of the country, they adopt this FPTP system. Now let us understand this another method of election, that is known as proportional representation. If you will see, the most of the election or general election of Lok Sabha and general elections of state legislative assemblies and the local government, they all are conducted through this FPTP system. But there are some other elections in which proportional representation is required, like the Rajya Sabha members election, your president election, your vice president elections, and the elections of Vidhan Parishad. You must remember, in some of the states we have bicameral legislature. One is Vidhan Sabha and another is Vidhan Parishad. So that Vidhan Parishad member, they are also elected through this proportional representation. Let us see how this proportional representation take place. So first of all, we need a fixed quota to get the majority, and after getting that minimum quota, the candidate is declared winner. For example, here we are taking the example of Rajasthan State Assembly. In Rajasthan State Assembly, there are 200 seats, 200 MLAs, and there are 4 vacant seats are there. So you know, Rajya Sabha is a permanent house. After every 2 years, its 1/3 members are replaced by the new members. So this time there is a vacancy of 4 members in Rajya Sabha. How these 4 members will elected by this 200 MLAs? Let us see. So first of all, we check the required quota for for winning the seat. So that is the total votes pooled, means how many total votes. So total votes are 200, and total number of candidates, how many candidates need to be elected? They are 4 candidates. So 4 plus 1 is 5, and here is 200 and plus 1. So 200 upon 5, that is equal to 40, and plus 1 is equal to 41. So required quota for becoming a member of Rajya Sabha, member of Rajasthan, that is 41. Means what is happening, first past the post system, even a candidate who is getting 25 as a maximum number of votes, that can be declared winner, or that can be declared eligible. But in proportional representation, it doesn't happen like this. The minimum quota is fixed by this formula. So in this case, we have a minimum quota, that is of 41. votes. So let us see. We have, there are, suppose we have this 5 candidates, candidate A, B, C, D, E, 5 candidates. Among those 5 candidates, only 4 candidates need to be elected as a Rajya Sabha member. And what happened, this 200 members, they will give one vote for all these participants. Suppose this proportional representation in India is known as proportional representation single transferable vote system. So what happened, suppose there is a one vote for this MLA, he will give the preference according to the candidate, 5 candidates. Suppose this candidate A, he gives the first preference, candidate C second preference, candidate E that is fourth preference, candidate E that is third preference, and candidate B is the 5th preference. Means the single vote that is based on the preferences. So now according to preferences, this candidate A, suppose this candidate A, the majority of the candidate, they give the first preference. So in the first round of voting, this first candidate is declared. Now so that is the officially declared because he acquired the minimum quota of 41. So he is eligible to become a member of Rajya Sabha. Now see what happened in this. The 4 members are required to elect. Only one got the required quota. How 3 will be elected? So this second candidate, he got 30. This got 25. Now this candidate who got the minimum vote, that will be eliminated, and its vote will be transferred to the other member. So the vote will be transferred to here, and now it becomes 35. Still you can see that is not the required quota. What happened next? This 4th candidate, its votes will also be transferred to other candidate. In that way the selections will be made, and until unless they acquire the minimum quota. So in this way the candidates will be elected, and so on. Now the next question is, what is the difference between FPTP and this proportional representation? FPTP and PR system. In short, we can say it is a PR system. So I am taking the help of your book. On page number 59, you can see a comparison chart between this FPTP system and PR system. So the first point is, country is divided into a small units called constituency. What happened in FPTP? The whole areas that is divided into small constituencies. That happens in FPTP system. And what happened in PR system? The entire country may be a single constituency. Entire country can be a single constituency. Like we have seen in the example of Israel. Then we have every constituency elect one representative. Only one representative is elected here. Means one constituency will have one representative. Here to multi representative can be elected, like coalition government. Then we have votes for candidate. Here the voters give their votes to candidate. But here you will see the votes is given to the party. As per the number of votes, the party gets representation in the government. Suppose a party got 20% votes, so that party will be eligible to get 20% seats in the government. Then we have a party may get more seats than vote in the legislature. You have seen what happened in 1948 election in India. So the Congress party that got more than 80% seat, and at that time the Congress got only 48% of votes. So that is a drawback of this FPTP system. there is no relation between number of votes and number of seats. So number of seats can be varied from number of votes. But what happen in PR system, number of votes and number of seats, they are in proportion always. If a party is getting 15% vote, so that party will get 15% of seat or 15% representation in the government. Examples are candidate who wins the election may not get majority. Examples are UK and India, and here the examples are Israel and Netherlands. Israel and Netherlands. Here the minimum quota for majority is required. Minimum quota for majority, as you have seen in the case of Rajasthan, the 41 quota with the 200 MLA that is required to become a member of this Rajya Sabha. But in FPTP system, no minimum quota is required. No minimum quota is required. Like in your exam, suppose you have an exam of political science on a 100 marks paper, you need to score minimum 33%. But here though you can see a candidate with 20% marks can be the winner, that can be the topper in FPTP system. So this is the difference between FPTP system and PR system. All have their own benefits and their own merits and demerits. But India, because it is a very large and diverse country, this FPTP system is very popular. Not only in India, in the largest democratic countries, this FPTP system is executed very easily. So in the next lecture we will discuss about the role of election commission, reservation of constituency, and how this free and fair elections are conducted by election commission, and what are the drawbacks of this election system, and what kind of reforms are required. We all things will discuss in the next lecture. Till then, bye bye, take care.